I mean, yeah, we're all, well, maybe not all of us, but most of us are afraid to start relationships because we're scared of rejection. But what about if we're scared of not trusting ourselves? So that could look like, okay, I get into a relationship, the person seems really nice and cool, but I know, like within a date or two or even a phone conversation, that I'm not feeling it. But that people pleaser, that part of me that feels like, well, Kathleen, you have to take what you can get, and you don't want to hurt people's feelings, so basically choose them over choosing myself. um, I used to grapple with that a lot more until I became much more honest with myself, right? I'm not doing anybody any favors by staying with them if I don't really feel it. And I think it really speaks to when we can look at what's the worst that can happen if we end up not liking somebody, right? Aside from anyone out there that's like, yeah, just tell them F off or I'm done, or I ghost them, which I don't think is very healthy. I think the worst thing that can happen is you confront the fact that you probably were raised as a bit of a people pleaser, and that when you're raised as a people pleaser, you're taught to abandon yourself instead of choosing yourself. Because if you chose yourself, it would go against the grain of your family or whoever had the influence. And we would rather abandon ourselves than the people that are supposed to take care of us. And unless we change that narrative story of I can't choose myself because if I do, I'll be abandoned, to I can now choose myself as an adult, so I'm responsible, I'm going to be okay no matter what. I make choices every day. I go to the grocery store, I put gas in my car, I take care of my cats, my dogs, whatever. I do a lot of stuff that I choose. But somehow when it gets to romance, right, or maybe even friendships, it's almost, not almost, but it's, we have to really look at where are we self-abandoning. And so for me, the solution is to trust myself that eventually, lately, lately, more directly than I used to be, I will let that person know in as compassionate way as possible. Um, and by that, I don't mean you ghost the person. You have a conversation, you text. It doesn't have to be in person. I mean, where do these rules come from? You know, it's the most important thing when you tell somebody that this is not going to be a good fit is that you are compassionate, kind, and respectful. If you do it via letter, written letter, remember those, via an email, via text, in person, on the phone, that's fine. What matters more is how you tell somebody. And if that person cannot accept your truth, you gently but firmly say, okay, I told you how I feel. I understand you're hurt or I understand you're angry, and I'm going to have to get going. Like, you don't stay there for what could become abusive, right? Or manipulative. You just say how you feel. Hopefully that person will respect it. They don't have to like it, by the way. They don't have to agree with it, but they have to accept it. And if they can't, then that's on them, not you. All right, let me know if you've ever had an experience where you're like, oh God, really, oh, they're so nice. But no, choose you. Choose you. Bye.